The streets are talking. You are now listening to The Box Out, Tri-State area basketball talk at its best. And now your hosts, Kahlil Thomas and Jason Cordner. Let's get it.
From NJ to BK and the world, it's The Box Out here on the Just Hoop Talk YouTube channel. My name is Kahlil Thomas. Joining me just in a few minutes will be Jason Cordner from Brooklyn, New York. And, we had to start with WNBA because I think this, I said something last week and I stand by my statement. I think these WNBA playoffs have been probably the most exciting WNBA playoffs we've seen in the history of the WNBA. I stand by that comment. I will ride or die with that comment. I agree with that. So it continued last night, and coming to the playoffs, you had the Connecticut Sun, number one seed in the WNBA, and then you had this upstart Chicago Sky team that just wasn't very good throughout the season, and they kind of figured out a way to kind of turn it on at the right time. As I bring in Jason Cordner. Jay, what's going on?
Not much, man. Did you see the news that went down today in the NBA?
Oh, we talking about that. That's on the docket. Is that the players involved in that was like, wait, what? Him? We're gonna get to that later because I got
R.I.P. The Knucklehead podcast. Another podcast bites the dust. Apparently,
but we still here. That's good. We still here. So I was talking about the Sky last night, and first, I think it's the third or fourth team in WNBA history to make the finals with a sub 500 record. Fourth team. And Candance Parker, there's a clip I wanted to bring up. I couldn't get it on here on time. There's a clip of her interview after the game. She almost had a triple double last night. She led them because you said early in the year she was hurt, and they were like, I want to say like 4-8, 4-9, and you were like, she's been hurt most of the year, which said a lot about what she really brought to that team. She said it on Scott Van Pelt. She's not the young Candance Parker that was dunking in Tennessee, but she kind of brought that team together and led them to the WNBA Finals.
Yeah, I was more so surprised at how well they gelled in the playoffs. Like we kind of said earlier, like they were underperforming along with the Mystics. But we always felt like if those two teams got it going late in the season just to get in the tournament, they would be a force to be reckoned with. And Candace, once again, proved that why she's on the cover of the NBA 2K22 this season. She's definitely the female GOAT. I put her up there if we want to do a Mount Rushmore of the WNBA players. She might not be on that forefront right now, but she's getting close. Like, I still think it's Lisa Leslie, Cheryl Swoops, but she's in that conversation of being up there as well.
Well, that was my question. I think that's what my lead was on YouTube today. Mm-hmm. And we look at Candance Parker. She only has, I think she has like one ring. She's going for a second ring this year. She's been to the finals 3 times. So when we talk about rings, she's not on the level of, a Cheryl Swoops or a Cynthia Cooper. All right. But when we see her, if we take college into account and what she did in Tennessee with Pat Summitt as her coach, and like you said, she's in the cover 2K. She's on the NBA pregame and postgame on TNT during the season. Can we make an argument to put Candance Parker has, if not one of the GOATs, you said Mount Rushmore, has the GOAT, not just on the floor, but all the other ancillary stuff as well?
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned it. She does the work for TNT. She's kind of like Strahan Jace. Whereas she's doing all these things outside the league, but when she's on the court, she's still dominating. She's still producing at a high caliber. So I think what her place right now in the WNBA, it's only bringing a spotlight to the product. So to have her in the finals, have the people of Chicago, like that arena was really jumping the other night. Chance the Rapper was there. Mm-hmm. A couple other Chicago icons were there were in attendance. So I definitely think what she's bringing to the table will go a long way. I don't know if they're going to win the championship because I think the Aces have woken up.
You think so?
I think they was like, wait a minute, hold up, we down 2-1 here. Wait a minute.
So real fast about this guy before we go to Aces. I'm starting to agree with you about the Aces. I think the Aces realize like, oh shit, we're almost done. Candance Parker, 17 points, 7 assists, 9 rebounds in the win. Courtney Vandersuit, 19 points. You had Missouri Stevens, 11. Kahlil Cooper with 18. You had balanced scoring up and down the lineup. They went deep. They went 12 deep. So they were getting their bench involved. They knew, Candance Parker, Vandersloot, Allie Quigley. You had to get them. You had to get them rests. You had to get them breaks. So they went deep into their bench. In terms of Chicago, Jonquel Jones, MVP of the league, 25 last night in the loss. Is this their best chance to do this? Because Connecticut's always been one of those teams where you're in a market where you have the UConn women basketball team. So that's essentially one of the reasons they put a franchise where they did, because UConn had that following. Why not put a women's team there too? They've always been kind of middle of the pack, I feel like, since their inception. Number 1 seed in the league, got knocked out by a team that had a losing record in regular season. Was this their best chance to kind of go for that title? Because we talk about mid-market teams in sports. I think Connecticut is in that mid-market conversation. Is this it for them?
I don't want to say it's it for them, but this was definitely a golden missed opportunity because, it's only a matter of time before the Liberty get better. And once the Liberty get better, that kind of dominates the entire market, where the Suns become an afterthought. So I definitely assumed this was their best chance to win a title. We kind of both agree that we thought they probably still wasn't going to win anyway. We still favored the two-headed monster in LA. I mean, LA, on the west side with the Aces or the Storm. But since the Storm went out, I think the Aces have to be the heavy favorite right now.
So we're talking about the West. We're on the West now. Then we're doing the Western Conference, but we're in the West Coast now. Aces, Mercury, Game 5 Friday. Aces put out a 93-76 win last night to stave off elimination. And like you said, I think they figured it out. Like, wait, we're going to go home, right? And I think they kind of figured out, listen, we can bang with the Mercury. Like, they were almost scared, it seemed like, to really go down there and get with that front court that Phoenix had. They said, okay, we're going to go down there and we're going to fight now. And you saw last night, they finally had that fight that, Bill Lambier, of all people, probably said, you need to go out there and start banging heads.
Yeah, and I thought the X factor was Diggins. When she started getting going, it was like, okay, we know what we're gonna get from everyone else. But now it kind of like, we said the guard play of the Mercury was what pretty much catapulted them to that lead. And once they started banging in the post, that was it.
So if you look at the stats last night in Phoenix, I mean, we talk about their backcourt and how they have one of the best backcourts in the league. Kia Nurse, 39 seconds. I know she was banged up a little bit in the game. Brittany Griner, 6 of 19. Diggins, 6 of 17. Taurasi, 5 of 15. So right there, they lost that game. Just based on those 3 players and what they shot. They made, I'm going to do quick math in my head, 16 shots, and they shot about 20, 27, about 48, 49 shots. So it was a terrible shooting game for Phoenix. And that's when you depend on the inside game. And Griner's not having it. Look at someone like Liz Cambridge, who was inside. You look at someone like Asia Wilson, who had 15 points. Chelsea Gray, the guard, at 22 points. So who you got in Game 5 on tomorrow night?
I'm going with the Aces. I think the Aces are going to come out strong, set the tempo, and dominate. Because I think it's a championship at stakes here. They got to close it out. I think Phoenix is pretty much running on fumes. And I think they're over their heads in Game 5. I think they get blown out, actually.
Wow. Okay. Shout out to Kelsey Plum, too. Kelsey Plum, all-time leading scorer in women's NCAA basketball history. 6th person of the year this year. 20 points off. She had 20 off the bench. And when she got drafted, I thought she was going to come in the league and put up Cynthia Cooper numbers. And I think she realized that maybe her game at Washington, because we talk about the Pac-12 and how bad it is. Men, women, whatever sport, the Pac-12 is garbage. She came to WNBA and struggled. I think she's kind of found that role coming off the bench and giving the Aces that energy that they need off the bench.
That's kind of what they needed because they had no bench before. Yeah, so it made sense.
Yeah, so Game 5 tomorrow. If the Aces win, like you said, Aces, Sky, what do you got?
I'm going with the Aces only because Parker can only do so much. I think Candace.
I'm going with this. I'm going with this. I'm going with Parker. I don't know why. Something about Candance Parker.
It feels like 99 Knicks vibes. Well, like,
oh God.
Yeah, that's the vibe I get. I feel like she's going against a lot over there in Vegas.
Yeah.
Wait, game 1 will be Sunday?
Game 1 will be Sunday, I believe. Yeah.
So
I'll check real quick, but I believe it's Sunday.
So now I'm gonna throw this in there for you. If the Aces do make it to the final, there's 99% chance I'm gonna go to that game because I'm in Vegas this weekend for the Tyson Fury. I forgot to tell you that Tyson Fury.
You skipped past that part. You go to Vegas?
Yeah. I'm gonna cover my first boxing fight outside of New York, and this opened up doors for us. So we'll see what happens. But if the Aces do, because I was debating about what I'm gonna do Sunday, I was gonna check out the Death Star, aka the Allegiant Stadium. I was gonna go to the Bears-Raiders game. But if the Aces win, I think I'm inclined to go to that.
That game's 3 p.m. Eastern, so 12 p.m. your Vegas time. So
yeah,
you could. I mean, I would check that out. You might see Mark Davis. Mark Davis might want to go to that game instead of see a Ranger game because he owns. You never know. Get an interview with him. So real fast, because I know now you go. See, now you got my head spinning. I watched that the press conference.
Yeah,
that they had. So okay, I know we're talking about basketball, but I don't give a shit right now. What was Tyson Fury talking about? What was Deontay Wilder accusing him of from the last fight? Did I miss something?
He accused him of loading the gloves up, cheating a little bit.
He got knocked out. No, okay, never mind.
Yeah,
he got knocked out. Like, I'm sorry. Like, just take your L. Call it a day.
Well, they got to sell the fight. It's like everything's. They're trying to be like WWE.
Well,
really
Tyson,
like AEW and start banging.
Wait, Tyson Fury was like, "You're a piece of shit." I'm like, "Whoa!" I'm like, and then I'm watching it on like FS1. I'm like, "Didn't I been bleeping this? Like, what's happening?"
They let the rip.
And my daughter's just sitting there watching with me. I'm like, she shouldn't be here right now. She should not be watching this right now. Not understanding that Tyson Fury Cockney accent either. I was like, this is bad.
So I have a vested, rooted interest for the Aces to win since I'm out there.
So there you go. You got to go there. Speaking of shit talking, I guess we can kind of transfer to that. We're going to shit talk Kyrie Irving real fast because right now Kyrie Irving's still not vaccinated. Kyrie Irving's still not abiding by the New York rule, a rule in which it was New York, San Francisco, and now LA has the same rule now too. So now you had 2 more games that Kyrie cannot play in. What's the end game here? Because I feel like I'm gonna play a clip from Brian Windhorst. The Nets thought this would be done by now, and it seems like he's kind of holding firm, saying, "I'm not doing this." Like, what's the end game here?
I have no idea what's his end game. But it's crazy. When you think of people in the league, that the amount of money he's gonna lose, Kyrie is that ignorant to not care. That's the sad part. And I feel like, as much as he says he's all about the team, he's really hanging them out there to dry. And I feel like if Durant will step in and fix the situation, the Nets, in all their rights, they should move him. I would trade Ben Simmons for him right now.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out. I'm gonna play this clip from Brian Windhorst from ESPN about the Nets and like what the situation is, because they're kind of in a lurch right now. So there's Brian Windhorst, and we'll come back and talk about it.
Well, they just have to start looking at the calendar. They were hoping that Kyrie Irving would be compliant with the New York City protocols by this week and that this wouldn't be an issue. But guess what? This week is here. He is not compliant. He didn't practice yesterday or today. And so now they have to evaluate it. And here's the reality. They are only going to see Kyrie Irving's face one day between now and the start of the regular season on the 19th of October. It is very hard to prepare for a season when your starting point guard you can't see for potentially weeks on end. And the reality is at the start of the season, they have a 6-game homestand starting the second week. That means they're going to go 11 days without seeing the starting point guard because he can't practice or play with you. And so when they're looking at that, they're like, how can we go forward with this plan? How can we go forward with not being able to practice with our guy and then throwing him out there for games? And the answer is, I'm not sure they can. And so this is what they're now having to consider. Can you have a part-time player, not just in games, but not even see him at home in practice? And that is something that they were hoping they wouldn't have to confront this fast in the season.
So what's the Nets' backup plan if Kyrie decides, in fact, he's gonna be the one, he's gonna die on that hill, so to speak, not gonna get vaccinated?
Well, it's a hell of a
What's their
backup plan. It's a hell of a backup plan because they have a most valuable player on their roster who play point guard in James Harden. So that's number one. I mean, they're not going to be as good without Kyrie, but that's a heck of a 1-2 maneuver they could do. And then in the offseason, they signed Patty Mills, who he is not Kyrie Irving, to be clear, but he's a starter level point guard in the NBA. You can give him a lot more minutes, and ideally, you get Kyrie Irving to take the vaccine and come out and play in every game. But if they can't go with Kyrie, and they're trying to decide whether they're going to play this weird half in, half out, it might be simpler based on their depth to just say, Kyrie, we're sorry. We'll see you when you decide to get the vaccine or the rules change, and we're going to go with the guys we have and have a consistent lineup night in and.
So that's Brian Windhorst from ESPN, and it came out that Steve Nash came out and said we're not going to change or relocate our practices outside of New York to accommodate Kyrie. So already you're starting to see the Nets kind of start taking a stand against this, saying, listen, we're not going to accommodate you. Like, you're going to be a part-time player. Until you figure this out, get your head at your ass, we're not going to accommodate you. So I feel like the Nets are finally like, we're done. We have to move on now.
I feel like this is a life lesson for everyone. When you're dating and you're courting, you see that pretty girl and you know she's high maintenance, but you feel like you can change her. Leave her alone. Leave her alone. Leave him or her alone. You can't change him. And I feel like the whole time that interview was playing, I was like, damn, I hate to say this, but this couldn't have happened on the Knicks. Dolan would have had something to say. It go down the line. I think the Knicks management would have had something to say. And I think because the Nets are so used to not being an attractive destination, so their ego was kind of like, oh, shit, we got to say something now. The season starts in a week. And I didn't realize they have a 6-game homestand to start the season.
Yeah.
Which is terrible. Shout out to the Knicks. I'm going to be at the Knicks home opener because I think that's a more attractive destination to be at to start the season. I'd rather be at the Garden. I'd rather be at the Garden than be at Barclays. That's a whole nother topic. I think what the Nets should really do is like, listen, he's not going to get paid. Act like he's not here. And this, the moment you could get him out of Brooklyn, you try to do it.
Yeah, I just feel like, and like you said, that homestand screws them because at least they're like, okay, well, we got a couple games on the road. You can play with us on the road. But then what Windhorst said, which caught my ear this morning when I listened to it, he can't practice. Can't play. They only going to see him one time between now and like 2. Like you literally can't be with the team.
So
that's the rule.
He can be with them when they go against Milwaukee for the Milwaukee's home, for the season opener.
The season opener, yeah, he can go, but then he's back out again. So it's like you can't practice. You're going to go to Milwaukee, play after not practicing, and then be gone for 6 games, which 6 games, I think, over 10 days. So you're away for the team for 10 days. So it's like the Nets almost have to go, listen, I'm sorry. Like, either you get vaccinated, because this is not changing. New York, San Francisco, LA, they're serious. And not a lot of places going to do it. Chicago, I'm not sure they'll do it in Chicago. But you talk about 3 of the most liberal places in the world.
Yeah.
They ain't playing. They're not going to change their stance. So, and then relocate the practice. Where would they put the practice then? That's my other thing. I'm like, so all those guys who Kyrie lives in Jersey, I think.
Yeah.
No one else lives in New Jersey. Everyone else lives in New York. So all those guys got to trek to Continental Airlines Arena to practice. Like what are you doing? Like, so you're gonna upload the whole team in this great practice facility, which I haven't been in yet. I keep hearing it's really nice. To go to New Jersey because you, being a dumbass, don't want to get vaccinated. I'm glad the Nets said no, because the Nets said yes. They're the biggest bunch of what's in the world if they said yes to that.
Absolutely.
So I don't get it, man. And then the idea that he still hasn't explained himself. Like before I got on air, I was watching CNN behind me, and all these parents chasing down teachers, and this is rape. You're raping our children. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like Kyrie sounds like them now. Because there's no rhyme or reason behind it. So unless you come out and explain yourself, Jonathan Isaac did it. Didn't agree with it, but at least he came and said, this is what I think.
I just realized something. He can't go anywhere in New York not vaccinated because
no.
I went to. I think when I went to go see Shang-Chi, before they asked for my ticket, they asked for my vaccination card, and it's like I just thought about it. I was like, he really can't even do anything in New York. So what is he? So is he just like living as a hermit?
You can't move in the city.
You really can't.
You live in Jersey. You can move in Jersey, but even some places are like a mask got to be on.
Right.
And I went through his Twitter tonight, and he's like, "Mask off, people." I'm like, "God, what?" Okay. So if you're in Jersey, you got to rock the mask. We're not asking for vaccination cards, but you have to wear that mask. And if he ain't wearing a mask, he can't get in anywhere either. So I don't know what he's waiting for. I'm trying to figure out this research he's waiting for. This magic research from One American News that he could read and like figure out what he's going to do.
But like, if you know your team has championship aspirations, why are you not complying? Considering that, in all technically, you was the reason they lost to the Bucks because you got hurt. Why would you not want to come? And shout out to Brian Windhorst with that. I forgot James Harden is point guard, so they'll be all right.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that they'll be all right. It's just the fact that
and Patty Mills. Patty Mills is there.
Yeah,
I feel like Patty Mills. You get Patty Mills 20, 25 minutes a game. He's got experience. He played with San Antonio. He knows what he's doing. So I'm good. If I'm the Nets, I'm like, I'm straight. Do you. We're good. Andrew Wiggins got vaccinated. He came out and said he felt like he was forced to get vaccinated because it was either get vaccinated or his NBA career is over. I think that's about right.
He made a choice. He was like,
listen, and that's money too. Like you want to lose that? You want to lose that money? That's all you. So good on him for making a right decision. Way too late, but he made the right decision nonetheless. The 2021-2022 GM survey were released. Which team will win the NBA Finals? 72% of NBA GMs say the Brooklyn Nets. 17 Lakers, 10 Bucks. Last year, the Lakers were 81% favorites from the GM. Is 72% too high, especially now with the Kyrie situation, or is that right where you thought it would be?
I thought it would be like 65%. To be fair, I thought the Lakers would get a little bit more credit. Even though I'm a little worried about the Lakers, but then again, I don't know if there's a lot of matchup-wise, they match up very well against a lot of teams in the West, and the Clippers, I think, are going to take a step down. The Bucks, I don't know how the Bucks are going to approach this season. Are they going to approach this like, we get no respect with champs, or they're going to be content with their one ring, kind of like how Dallas was in 2012 or 2013?
Yeah, 2013, I think.
Yeah, so I feel like you don't know what you're going to get from the Bucks. So I think Durant's going to have a monster season regardless, and I think Harden's going to come in season in shape. So they're going to do well. They're going to put up numbers. The Nets are going to be a 55-win team, regardless of Kyrie's playing part-time or not. So I wouldn't have said 70-something%. I would have been 65.
Who will win the MVP this year? Kevin Durant, 37%. Luka Doncic, 33%. Giannis, 13%. Joel Embiid, 7%. James Harden tied at 7%. Steph Curry, 3%. It's not that I doubt whether KD can win it. Do you think he's motivated to win it, or do you think he just really doesn't give a shit? He wants the title.
I think a lot of these guys are not motivated. That's why we kind of saw the Joker win it last year. I think for the young guys, they're going to go for it. And you kind of see it in the NFL, where the young guys are going after this MVP award. The veterans are like, we just want that championship. LeBron ain't going for it no more. I think he's done with the MVP chase. I don't think Durant really cares for it. I think he wants to make amends for what happened. I think he wants to make amends for that toe on the line and then the air ball.
I mean, even the air ball, he wants to make amends for the air ball, but
he was tired. He was spent.
That overtime, he was done. He was done. I feel like once the overtime started, you at least saw him, and he was like, you started feeling bad for him. I'm like, damn, he carried that team on his back. The other question is, it's weird. If you're starting a franchise today and could sign any player in the NBA, who would it be? 43%, Luka Doncic.
Yeah, I would have said that too.
40% Giannis, and then others receiving votes: Anthony Davis, Kevin Durant, LeBron, Jokic, Zion. So Zion, which I think was kind of a sexy pick for this question a couple of years ago, I feel like Zion's kind of fallen down a little bit, especially I think he just had foot surgery or something a couple of weeks ago. So
yeah,
is the rose off of that bloom where everyone's like, okay, Zion's, first of all, he's way too big, and my man's going to get hurt. He already having foot problems. Like, is that ever going to be an issue?
It was a combination of he always gets hurt, and he's in New Orleans. I think those two, it's kind of like Kyrie. Kyrie only played a handful of games at Duke, got hurt in Cleveland, got hurt in Brooklyn, got hurt in Boston, but we didn't really think about it like that being injury prone until later on. I think for this guy, and then you see the two guys that went after him are both, they've been in the playoffs already. Mm-hmm. I think RJ looks amazing from what I've seen in preseason. Same thing with Morant. And Zion, we're not seeing him, and he's getting bigger. It's a little scary. It's a little concerned. I'll be concerned a little bit if I was someone in his camp.
So, what's the other question? There's a lot. We're going through a lot of these questions because it's interesting because I don't agree with half of these answers. I think GMs are just idiots. Where is it? Okay. Who is the best point guard in the NBA? I want your thought first before I give you what the general manager said.
I'm going to go Luka.
13%.
Who they said the number? Chris Paul?
Steph, 57%.
He's not really a point guard.
Dame Lillard, 17. Luka, 13. LeBron, 7. Chris Paul, 7.
So who's number one?
Steph, 57%.
He's not a point guard.
LeBron ain't a point guard either on this list. LeBron's in, hold on. LeBron's in three different positions.
The last time Damian Lillard had 10 assists?
Wait, LeBron's in 3 separate positions. Best small forward, LeBron, 17%. Best power forward, LeBron, 27%. How are you in 3 spots?
LeBron ain't been a small forward in about 15 years.
Which team made the best overall moves this offseason? Miami Heat, 47%. Lakers, 17%. Nets, 7. Rockets, 7. Wizards, 7.
Really?
Knicks,
the Bulls didn't get any consideration?
Also receiving votes, Bulls, Knicks, Thunder, Suns, Blazers. What did the Wizards do?
They got the Lakers. They got Kuzma.
Oh, they got Kuzma.
They got what's the name too from the Nets?
Oh, jeez.
Spencer.
No. And the Rockets
the Wizards are gonna be a fun play-in tournament team.
And the Rockets just drafted. I don't understand. Like, what did the Rockets really bring? Like, what did they do?
Absolutely.
I get the Heat because the Heat just spent money. The Lakers got like an old geriatric team on their side. And the Nets just brought in a bunch of role guys. But I don't – the Rockets and the Wizards, like you said, the Wizards are going to be a playing team. It's going to be kind of a cool, sexy league pass game. Mm-hmm. When the Knicks aren't on, you watch the Wizards because it'll be a fun young team. The Rockets didn't do anything. And I'm sorry. I don't see it because I watched them play last night, and they can't shoot for their life, Houston.
Not at all.
It's atrocious. What was the most underrated player acquisition this offseason? Larry Nance Jr., Portland, 28%. That's Patty Mills, Brooklyn, 17%. I think now that takes on some importance. Spencer Dinwiddie. That's what they got. Spencer Dinwiddie. Okay. I changed my mind on Washington now. Okay.
Oh, they're gonna be a fun league pass team to watch.
Kemba Walker, 7%. Now
that should be higher.
I know I said I don't watch preseason.
Oh, I watched.
I was curious. I was curious. Kemba looked good. Randall played tough defense. I think that load off offensively, getting like Kemba, getting Evan Fournier, I think Randall's defense is going to get better.
Yep.
Who is the center? The young center. I can't remember his name.
Oh,
he was all over the place.
Mills. Is it Mills?
No, I gotta look this up because I saw him play and like he's not scoring points, but he's down there getting dirty with the guy. He's just getting dirty. I gotta look this up because it's gonna bother me. Is it number 45? I think
45. Yeah.
Hold on. I'm gonna not see. Now I gotta search this because it's gonna bother me. But the Knicks don't look bad. My issue is gonna be one. How does Tibbs distribute minutes?
That's going to be the most important thing for this whole.
2, is he going to incorporate rookies? And 3, Fournier and Walker is going to be the X factors. Fournier especially because Fournier You talk about streaky shooters.
Mhm.
Evan Fournier is one of the streakiest shooters in the NBA. He'll hit 7 threes, the next game he'll hit 2.
Yeah.
So I feel like those are the big thing. But the minutes scare me. With Jericho Sims, that's the guy.
Jericho Sims. Okay.
Jericho Sims is a 6'9", 250. My man balls.
Mm-hmm.
I like him. I feel like if at any point Mitchell Robinson ain't getting the job done,
You throw him in there.
you throw him in there. Noel starts. Jericho Sims off the bench. He gives you rebounds, energy, blocks some shots. He'll take some offensive fouls. Tibbs probably loves him already.
Mm-hmm.
So it's his type of player. But you saw the game. What did you think when you saw the next night?
I was amazed at how well the ball was moving and how locked in everybody was in for a preseason game. So it seems like, I think the guys they brought in fits Tibbs' system perfectly. But like you said, it's the minutes. The rookies didn't play no minutes until literally the last 3 minutes of the game. And even Knox looked all right. Knox looked like
no. I was waiting for you to say that. Because you so badly want Knox to work out. You still let a Knox boat.
Knox is my Kyrie Irving. I really want him to work.
Why? Why?
Because we didn't take Porter, who's already getting more money than him.
Are you? As soon I saw Knox, I think he made a basket. In my head, I'm like, Jason gonna say something about Knox. Jason like, see, I told you. You gotta tell Kevin Knox. I told you. I
want him to work so bad.
Who will win Rookie of the Year? Jalen Green from Houston, 47%, even though he shot 2 for 12 the other night. Cade Cunningham, 40%. Jalen Suggs, 7%. I think Jalen Suggs.
I think Suggs too.
Yeah, I think that's more likely than anything else. There's another. This is the one. Okay, this is the one I really want to get to because you and I both like defense.
Mm-hmm.
Who is the best defensive player in the NBA to you right now?
I have to Giannis.
Damn, Giannis, 47%.
Yeah.
Gobert, 17. I feel like Gobert's stock dropped a little bit on that one.
He doesn't leave the paint. Giannis will come out and block a 3.
Yeah, that's true. Gobert, is it me? Has Gobert gotten slower?
And that too, to me, it looked like he's gotten slower as well.
Best interior defender, obviously Gobert, 77%. That's his thing. Coaches, who's the best head coach in the NBA?
That's a tough one. Damn, that's a tough one. Because I don't want to be biased and say Tibbs because it's not. And I don't want. I do want to give Monty his props. Monty did a hell of a job. It's not Milwaukee.
They want to fire his ass.
They was ready to fire him. Damn, that is a tough one. Damn. Schematic wise, I'm gonna go.
Well, here's the thing. They split that up. I'm glad you said that too, because they kind of split up. They have a best head coach, and they said adjustments, offense, defense. So they kind of split up some of those categories. So the best head coach, I think this is kind of subjective. So I'm gonna throw that in there right now. Okay. So who do you got?
Oh, man, I'm really torn. I'm really torn on this. I'm gonna go with Monty Williams.
Second at 17%.
Wow.
Eric Spoelstra, 55%.
You know what? That's correct. No, that's correct because Spoelstra, he stood up to LeBron. He didn't get fired, and the Heat have been pretty much formidable even after LeBron left. We see the dumpster fire that the Cavs have become. So, yeah, I'm going to give Spoelstra his props. He does run a well-oiled machine considering the parts that he has. Yeah,
Spoelstra, number one. Yep, Spoelstra's 1. Monty Williams, 2. Quinn Snyder from Utah, 3 at 14. Greg Popovich at 10.
Pop got to go, man. Pop got to go.
But do you think Popovich being there is more of like it's more like a career achievement award?
It's a career achievement because it all derailed once Kawhi wanted out, and then after Kawhi wanted out, we're like, why did Kawhi want to leave? And then we kind of seen the decline of the Spurs. Him as a GM hasn't worked. I just think Pop's has got to go, man.
And your boy Mike Budenholzer, 3%, number 5.
He should be 1%, man. If Kevin Durant didn't shoot that air ball, if that toe was on the line, he was on ESPN. Countdown. Book it.
Tibbs wins best defensive schemes. Best assistant coach. Kenny Atkinson, Darvin Ham tied for 17% first overall. Kenny Atkinson's going to get another job sooner or later. I think everyone knows what he did in Brooklyn. I think he's kind of waiting out the perfect job. But I think even NBA, when I play NBA 2K, I always bring him on as an assistant. Or if I start like a new franchise, I bring Atkinson because if I got a young team, I want him. So I feel like he's going to get a job quick.
Oh, yeah.
If not this year, next year.
Oh, for sure.
All right, that's 2 more questions. Which active player will make the best head coach someday?
Active player.
Yep.
Who would make the? Damn, that's a tough one. Believe it or not, Udonis Haslem. I think he would make a good coach.
He's on the list. He's tied for 4th.
Oh wow.
Chris Paul, 34%.
I don't think he'll make a good coach. I don't think he'll make a good coach.
I feel like he's too.
Yeah.
It's too much.
Yeah.
Rajon Rondo, 2nd, 14%.
I don't know if he would want to be a coach.
I don't think it's just like Paul. I don't think he has a temperament to be a head coach.
Right. Yeah.
His temperament would freak me out. TJ McConnell, 10%. I mean, he's.
I would have. You know who's not on that list? Probably who I'd probably go with. Derrick Rose.
Is he on the list? I'm trying to think. No, he didn't get any votes. Derrick Rose, yeah, I think temperament would be good for him.
Mm-hmm.
TJ McConnell, I feel like McConnell is, and I'm just going to say it because I don't care. White point guard, high IQ.
Yeah.
Gym rat, right? Gym rat. I feel like that's the coach. That's the typical. He's like a Fred Hoiberg. That's who he would be. He's Fred Hoiberg.
Perfect example.
Mike Conley, Haslam, and Garrett Temple all tied for 4th at 7%. Others receiving votes: Harrison Barnes, Malcolm Brogdon, Joe Ingles, LeBron, who he's going to own the team, not coach it.
Exactly. LeBron ain't coaching no team. He's owning.
Patty Mills, and Draymond Green.
Draymond, I can see Draymond. He'll have a Coach Carter effect to wherever he coaches, but he's destined for ESPN or TNT. Like he will be the next Charles Barkley once he goes to media.
Yeah, I'm of the mind where I think Draymond would be a good college coach.
Oh, for sure.
I don't think he can do what he does to pros, but I think he goes to college, gets with the right program, gets with like a Tulane or SMU or one of those programs.
He'd be the next Bob Knight.
Exactly. Just build them up. Just build them up, and there's hard. As long as you don't hit nobody, he's good. Most exciting, most fun team to watch: Brooklyn, 30%, 17% Golden State, 10% Atlanta. I think Atlanta should be a lot higher. I hate Atlanta. I hate Trae Young, but they are a fun team to watch.
Yeah, that's a great dunk by Collins the other night.
Oh my God, dunk of the year already. I'm calling it. That's it right there. Final question, and I think this is. Now, tell me if I'm wrong on this, because they talk about what rule most needs to change. Transition fouls first, additional coaches challenge second, free agency before the draft, 10%, the schedule, the seating, which I think is very important. But at 7%, the Elam ending and having that target score instead of having the running clock. I know you watched the basketball tournament over the summer. I really like that Elam ending. I think that one that'll end games quicker. We won't get those fouls. Plus, you just see it's just more exciting because like you have a target score. You got to play defense and you got to score, and it forces you. It forces you to actually like have a strategy to get to win the game. So I think they should really think about that.
Yeah, they should definitely think about that. I think seeding is probably the only problem, but like, how do you really fix that?
I mean, you got to take the top 16, no matter what conference. And then obviously you're going to have the East-West, the issue, whatever. You'll figure it out when it happens. But I feel like you have to – this 8 from the East, 8 from the West, and the East always has like 4 teams that's under 500. And take the top 16, whether it's, 12 from the West, 4 from the East, whatever. I think you have to do that. I feel like that's only fair.
I think they're holding out, and they'll probably eventually do realignment once we get like a new team, because it's only a matter of time before Vegas gets a team. It's a matter of time before Seattle gets a team. And when that happens, then you could do realignment a little bit. Maybe move Dallas to the east, things like that. So we'll see.
It's gonna be interesting. So the other story this week has been DeAndre Ayton. Essentially, him and his sons are negotiating an extension. He believes he's a max player. The son's like, "No, you're not."
He ain't a max player.
That was my question. Is he? He's not a max guy.
He's not a max guy, not yet.
Because he right now his contract's up. I think at the end of the season, so he would be an unrestricted free agent. They haven't picked up his option yet. So I think they went all in with the contract extension, not wanting to do option then extension. Should Ayton kind of rethink his stance, or is he right in saying, I'm just going to put it out there. If you want me, you got to pay me max. And if they don't, he'll probably just bow out. Or do you think he needs okay, whatever. I know I'm not there yet. Give me what you can give me.
I think he needs to show out. I think he needs to show improve this season. It's pretty much what the Suns are probably thinking too, because he really vanished in the finals. And if he did that against Giannis, who's to say a healthy Lakers team, he's not going to vanish again too. So I think, put his word out there, show improvement out here, and then maybe they'll come back to the table. But I don't think he's a max player right now.
No, I feel like what you saw in the playoffs is what we thought he would be.
Right.
But I do think, and we talk about Tibbs all the time, I think Monty Williams killed him by playing so many minutes early in the playoffs. By the time he got to the finals, he was done.
Yeah.
Look at Julius Randle. He was shot too. So same thing. All right, big news. We got to talk about it. 18 former NBA players were charged Thursday for pocketing about $2.5 million illegally by defrauding the league's health and welfare benefit plan in a scam that authorities said involved claiming fictitious medical and dental expenses. The players involved. So some of these guys, where are the names? The players involved. It's on my phone too.
And then we got Darius Miles.
Darius Miles. By the way, great movie he was in. Perfect Score with my girl. All right, here we go. Defendants include Terrence Williams, Alan Anderson, Anthony Allen, Shannon Brown, William Bynum, Glenn Big Baby Davis, Chris Douglas Roberts, former Memphis Tiger, so you know he's dirty because he played for Calipari. Melvin Ely, Jamario Moon, Darius Miles, Milt Palacia, Ruben Patterson, Eddie Robinson, Greg Smith, Sebastian Telfair, Charles Watson, Antoine Wright, Anthony Roden. Terrence Williams was essentially the ringleader and started them all, recruited these guys, got kickbacks on every scam that they committed. The report said that some of them were claiming up to 13 root canals, 60 grand in reimbursement fees.
Damn.
Here's my problem with this. Someone like a Big Baby, someone like a Telfair, who had long careers, made millions of dollars. Why are they in this? Where's their money? What happened? That's my question.
Well, Telfair, he was buying guns, so we know where his money is. Big Baby, I guess he ate his money. I don't know. It's
that's a lot of damn Chipotle. That's a lot of Chipotle for him to be rocking.
I'm Chipotle.
Go ahead.
Now saying, and I was hearing like some of these, like they were sloppy about it. Like they was claiming stuff while they were playing games. Like no one thought about crossing the dot in the I's and all that stuff. Like what are they doing here?
Yeah, I'm confused because no one seemed to figure out. Tony Allen also was charged.
Tony Allen looks like, to me, he's involved in a lot more scams than this. That's just my opinion. Like,
listen, I watched the Lorenzen Wright documentary the other day. Tony Allen's right involved in that too.
These ain't the Boy Scout guys. Like when you look at the names, some of them you're like, you question. Others are like, oh yeah, I can definitely believe that. Well,
it's funny because hold on, the indictment said Terrence Williams submitted 19,000 fraudulent claims to the plan in 2017 for chiropractic care. The claims led to 76. This is like $7 grand, $4 grand. It adds up, but it's like, why? Like, and then you're overseas, so you're getting all this work done, and it came out. He said he got 18 root canals, but he was playing ball in Romania. It was like, what? You were sloppy, like you said. It was sloppiness, and then they're submitting paperwork on different stationery with misspellings and like different bad name. It was just like, it was some like dumb shit. Like, if you're gonna do it, do it right. Do it right. Don't half-ass the scam. If you're gonna scam, do the scam. Don't do it half-ass.
Yep.
So my question is, listen, the NFL is always stingy with their money for ex-players and for healthcare. The NBA seemed to be pretty good with it, and you never heard old players in the NBA.
Never heard no problems about that. Yeah.
Will this affect the NBA going forward now, being more kind of cautious about paying out these claims? Because these guys might have screwed it, not just for NBA, but for NFL players, NHL players around the league. These old retired guys may not get reimbursement because the league's like, okay, we need like 8 pieces of paperwork now.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. They're going to want more proof. They're going to do more due diligence behind every claim now. They're just going to make it harder. And it's already hard. When it comes to insurance, it's always hard to get money back. So now it's just going to make it that much harder. Yeah,
it's sad. First of all, it's sad for the guys who are involved. Like,
is it?
I get it.
Is it?
I'm trying to be nice. In that case, no, it's not sad. It's not. I'm trying to be politically correct. It ain't. Y'all suck. You all suck. Darius Miles made money. All these guys, if you look at all these guys and all these names, these guys made, with the exception of maybe
the ringleader didn't make that much money. I think he was only in the couple of years.
Allen Anderson didn't make a lot. Anthony Allen didn't make a lot. Shannon Brown had a pretty long career.
He had a long career.
Will Bynum, Big Baby made money.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Douglas Roberts didn't because he was trash when he came out of college. Melvin Eli didn't make money. Jamario Moon had like a 6-year career. Darius Miles was in movies and rap videos for a minute. Milt Palacio, Telfair, 10 years. He played 10 years. I forgot he played that long.
Glad he played that long.
Antoine Wright
and
Tony Rowe.
Contracts right there. 10 years.
Yeah, he and I think he played for the Celtics at the end.
Yeah,
and he was with them for like 3 years. So he bopped around as like a bench guy, and it's just funny to read the report because it was just, like I said, it was just sloppy. And I'm like, if you're gonna do, like, come on, guys, like, come on, what are we doing? And listen, they're gonna throw the books at these guys.
Oh, for sure, they gotta make an example of somebody.
The charges came just weeks after former NFL players Clinton Portis, Tarek Vanover, and Robert McClellan pleaded guilty for their roles in a healthcare fraud scheme as well. So I'm assuming all these guys are going to plead guilty. I would assume if the government gets you, like this, you got a case. They're gonna come at you like out of nowhere. So too bad for them. Next story. So you said you've been watching preseason. Is there anything that's kind of caught your eye so far in the preseason besides the Knicks so far?
Knicks look good. I'm surprised how in sync the Bulls are already. And that's pretty much it. I like what I saw from the Hawks. I try not to take too much out of preseason, but I was really impressed with the Knicks defense and just the way they was moving that ball. Like, I was really surprised with that game. But then again, it was against an Indiana team that's trying to find their way. New head coach. The rookies played a lot of minutes, but still.
Oh, okay. Wait. So I mentioned earlier that LA has their COVID vaccine mandate, but apparently the Staples Center, that does not affect them.
What the hell?
So I'm trying to read this fast. I don't want to no dead air here, but
how LeBron pulled that off?
Staples Center said the LA ordinance does not apply to it or Microsoft Theater, who already subject to existing order addressing the subject matter. They only require proof of vaccination or proof of a negative COVID test. Okay. So you don't have to be vaccinated to get in.
But you have
I'm not sure about the.
You have to been tested. You have to been recently tested.
I have been tested. It's. I mean, listen. The Lakers are. I think they're 100%. The Knicks said they're 100%. Obviously, the Nets aren't. I know we really. I know we have HIPAA laws and stuff, but I'm really curious the percentages of what teams are like. NFL came out. Buffalo was like the worst. I want to know what team in the NBA is like 70%.
You're right. Well, they said the league is 95% right now?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it makes you wonder. Maybe Utah.
When all else fails, just blame Utah.
Maybe Memphis.
maybe Memphis. Because I'd say Utah. I think Utah's the right prediction on this one.
Yeah.
Any word on the league pass? I haven't broached that topic yet.
You know what?
Waiting for you.
About it. I'm still 75% in on getting it. I want to see, because I don't want to watch it. Well, you could preview it now for the first week
of the season. Yeah,
I want to wait till then, because there's a couple. Because I think I'm going to add the Bulls to my fun watch teams I want to see. So I got the Bulls, I got the Wizards, I got Atlanta. Of course, we're going to see our Knicks. We're going to see our Nets. We're going to probably try to see who else I want to see. And I kind of want to see some more teams out west. I'm leaning towards getting the league pass.
Yeah, I think the Western side, I have this infatuation with Sacramento.
I didn't even put them on my list. So they're on the list too.
For years, I don't know, going back to the Weber, Bibby, Peja days, I just like Sacramento.
And they do not get airtime on TNT or ESPN.
No, never. I mean, we're lucky if we get Utah every so often.
Right.
We never. Right. Utah, Sacramento. Trying to think of another team that we never really said.
They force-fed us the Pelicans, and we're tired of that.
I mean, there's only so many times you see Zion just walk into the lane untouched because everyone's afraid of him. But yeah, I mean, I know I haven't broached the topic with my wife yet. I want league pass very badly, but I'm trying to because I need Jude to be like, Jason got it. Jason got it. It's for the show. Jason said it's for the show. I'm like, yo, you're right. I get it for the show. So I'm leaning on you on this one. All right. College, real quick college conversation. Big 12 conference joins the SEC and letting schools set athlete compensation. So under current NCAA rules, students cannot be paid, and scholarship money a college can offer is capped. But they can set side compensation. Obviously, SEC is a whole different monster. SEC is like something else. The Big 12 is dying slowly. But what does this do for other conferences, especially the smaller ones like, the Mountain West, the MAC, the AAC? What does it do for them in not just trying to set up their own compensation, but also to keep those players away from those other conferences?
It puts them a bad strain because now, they have to do something else. They're going to lose a lot of talent coming down their pipeline to these big major conferences. So, but for them, for those, what can they offer other than maybe you pay for your likeness and we'll give you a stipend. Other than that, I don't know what much more they got to offer.
So the legal maximum amount per year in education benefits for an athlete is $5,980. Okay. The board of directors from Big 12 set that amount has a ceiling, so they can go as high as $5,900. I just think that a lot of these younger players are going to look at the SEC, the Big 12, possibly the Big East, maybe, and be like, you know what? Why are we playing in Provo, Utah? Let's go to Texas Tech and make some money there. Let's go to Missouri, which is SEC, and go. I feel like a lot of these players in these smaller schools, I feel like this is where the open market comes in. And these players are going to leave those colleges. That transfer portal last year was insane. I thought it was going to be worse next year with these rulings.
I agree. But they made their bed. This is what's going to happen.
And the NCAA loves it because they still don't have to pay nobody. Exactly. They don't have to pay a soul because they're like, oh, so-and-so got a pizza deal with Mario's Pizza on campus, so we don't have to pay him money because he's $100 to eat a whole pie by himself.
He got a job.
And I feel like everyone's like, oh, the athletes get money, all right, but everyone's like, wait, let's stop for a second. The NCAA, this is like their back door to not have to pay nobody. It's like everyone's kind of forgetting that we're all happy for the players, but the NCAA is still kind of getting away with murder and not paying anybody. They're so excited about the NIL, which is great, but the NCAA is still getting away with murder still, and no one's mentioning it.
Nope, not a soul.
And they're not, because why? Players are getting paid. Who cares? So it's gonna be interesting. Bruce Morrow chimed in on the introduction. No, she is not.
Oh wow.
Cynthia Cooper is the GOAT. Cheryl Swoops a close second. So Bruce chimes in. Cynthia Cooper is definitely up there. I think Cynthia Cooper, what she did to put the league on is big. I'm not sure since Cheryl Swoops is second, though.
Because the thing with Cheryl Swoops is she was big time before there was a WNBA. And she kind of was like that first star, you know. Cynthia Cooper, she was great in college, but she really made her name in the WNBA. So that's why I'll give Cheryl a little advantage, because she was the main attraction to start the league when she was their Jordan, and naturally she was their Jordan coming out the gate.
But over the years, I know the WNBA had their 25 players of all time for the 25th anniversary, and you've had so many players. You've had like Cynthia Cooper, Cheryl Swoops, Tina Thompson, who played for that Houston team too.
Yep.
You had Lisa Leslie, like you mentioned earlier. You had Lauren Jackson from Seattle, Taurasi, Sue Bird, Breonna Stewart's making a case, to put her name up there. You've had I know the Liberty always lost to the Comets, but Teresa Weatherspoon, she could be in that list. So I think Bruce asked the question, who's the GOAT? I would put Cynthia Cooper up there as the top of the line. I think who's second, third, blah, 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 becomes
debatable.
And you really don't know. Because it's so many players.
Which is good. It's good for the WNBA that it's so debatable. Because that lets you realize, it makes you realize how much talent has come through that organization in just 25 years.
And how much, not just how much talent, but how much no one paid attention to it when it had a lot of talent.
Like there's no way.
That's the key.
There's no way the Comets should have folded. That should have somehow still been salvageable.
I think, and maybe this is me being naive. I think I am. I think that Fertitta in Houston, who owns the Rockets, is going to bring back the Comets at some point.
Okay.
I think, and it's a Fertitta brother, so I don't know.
Kind of like a la the Cleveland Browns, where like their past is still linked to the new organization.
Yeah, I feel like that's what people still want that. And I know old ownership had no interest in it because you get a WNBA team, you may or may not lose money.
Right.
I think if you bring that team back to Houston, you're going to make some money on that deal.
You'll make some money.
You'll definitely make some money. Shamika Holdsclaw mentioned by Bruce Morrow as well. Shamika Holdsclaw is another player I forgot about too.
Yeah.
There's a lot. There's a lot of players in the WNBA. And also a quick shout out, WNBA Rookie of the Year, Michaela Onwuele from Liberty. It's good. Rookie of the Year, Dee Richards, rookie team.
Well deserved.
So Liberty, bright future. Hopefully they actually make the playoffs, not into the one and done games. That'd be great. Real quick, I didn't watch AEW last night, so we can't talk about it because it's on my DVR. I missed the last hour. But how do you feel about the TBS championship?
I actually like it. You know why I like it? Because I feel like in women's wrestling, we don't need a tag team title. If you're going to give them a secondary belt, so be it. But actually, the belt if you saw the belt, it looks better than the women's championship, by the way. And that's a problem. They got to fix that.
Yeah. Although I hate the TBS logo. I want the old school TBS with the big T, the old school Atlanta Braves logo when they're popping. I want that. I like it. They got to be careful with the belts. You have two men's, two women's. Yeah, two men's, two women's. Tag. That's good. Leave it. I know they want a trios title eventually. They can't do that now.
You know that's coming.
Yeah.
That's coming.
But you can't do that yet. You got to kind of wait. You have a new title. You got to wait almost a year to introduce trios titles, which I don't think he'll do. I think Tony Khan's we got to do that right now. The other part is the report that came out that Tony Khan has kind of taken power from the other EVPs. Cody, Young Bucks, Kenny, it's all Tony Khan now, which I think, and you can tell, I think the show works a lot better. And it's seen some more continuity when he's just doing it, as opposed to when they all had the Young Bucks was dealing with the tag teams. Omega had the women's division. Cody was doing something. I don't know what the hell Cody was working on. Is it me or the show just seemed better as of late because Tony Khan's I got it. I'm handling it.
The show's been better. It's been more in sync. And you definitely need Tony's definitely taking – he has that Vince McMahon vision in his head. So he's definitely taking it places where I think the Young Bucks, Cody, they were a little jaded. They probably wasn't going to be able to pull those triggers. So I like what he's doing.
And like credit to them. Cody can't get the belt anymore. Cody like put that step on.
He put that on himself. Yep.
Young Bucks didn't have the titles for like the first year.
Which
Omega was just a tag team wrestler. So I feel like while they were in charge, they almost kind of put themselves in the background to get other people over.
Mm-hmm.
But then they started getting over, and Tony's like, okay, we're done. I'm going to take it back now. Give it to me now. So and I'm not going to talk about WWE tonight because I don't want to get angry.
You don't want to get angry?
I don't get irritated. Saudi Arabia is coming up. I'm not going to watch that show. I boycott the show every time. So I can care less about Goldberg.
It's Saudi bag season. That's what's happening right now.
Sweet Saudi money right there. They get that money. Hopefully they make it home. Hopefully make it home.
What kills me, I will say this about WWE, which is stupid. You have the draft, but it doesn't go into effect for 3 weeks because of Saudi.
Until after that show.
And then it's the next day. So these poor wrestlers got to wrestle in Saudi Arabia early Thursday, whatever, and then get back on flights. We saw this happen 2 years ago where people missed flights and you had to do a hot shot SmackDown, which is probably one of the better shows. And now NXT, for all intents and purposes, it's dead. The NXT we loved is dead. So
I tried to watch it the other night. I gave it a shot for about an hour.
I can't watch it
because it's. I've got soldiers. It's too much. I feel like they try to introduce too many people at one time.
Yeah,
I'm like, you have to. If you're gonna introduce Steiner, the show should just be built around him. The next week, introduce this guy and this guy. Next week, introduce 2 more guys. They're trying to introduce 7, 8, 9 people in 2 hours, and everyone's like, "Who's this guy?" And then I didn't see Ciampa all the whole night. I'm like, where's your champion? Where's Tommaso Ciampa?
Well, he's holding the belt until they're ready to give it to Steiner, which appears to be at Halloween Havoc.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's going to happen. And I'm going to tune that completely and watch. It's like, I might as well watch Main Event or like Superstars at this point. If I'm going to watch NXT 2.0. It's just squash matches with like young guys. Jason, as always, great show, bro.
Likewise.
So we're back on our Thursday grind. Coming soon, before the season start, the collaboration between myself, Jason, and the other guys at Just Hoop. We got to have Justin and Will. We're going to talk a little WNBA. That season's over. NBA preview for the season that starts in 2 weeks. So that'll be coming up soon here on the YouTube channel. So keep there. We'll be back next Thursday night doing our own preview of the season, Knicks, Nets, and everyone else. So tune in there. For Jason, I'm Kahlil. It's going to be real fun. I got a lot to say next week. I got some surprise picks. For Jason, I'm Kahlil. Thank you for watching on the Just Hoop Talk YouTube channel. Next Thursday, we're back, 8 p.m. Peace.